My name is Jason Spielman. I'm a constable with the RCMP. I work with the Lower Mainland District Integrated Emergency Response Team.
My name is Jeff Catola. I'm a staff sergeant with the RCMP here in E Division. I'm the E Division Tactical Support Group Coordinator and the CBRN First Responder Program Coordinator.
I'm Elizabeth Flemister, and I'm a constable with the RCMP, and I work here at the Operational Skills Unit.
As a police officer, I go to work every day to help people, and by having a less lethal option on my side, it now gives me an option to be able to help this person help themselves by essentially stopping the behavior they're currently doing.
Crisis intervention de-escalation is very important to try and get the subject to understand that they're in a state of crisis and that we are able to help them in some way. However, sometimes the subject is elevated in a state where they don't respond to that. What we are wanting to do is to protect the subject from harm, from self-harm. Having that less lethal option allows that subject to be safe, go home at the end of the day, and for police to be safe, uninjured, and go home at the end of the day. When applied correctly, the carotid control is for the carotid artery, limiting the blood flow to the brain, therefore resulting in unconsciousness. We are not occluding the windpipe. We're not using the head as a lever or hurting the spine in any way. It can take up to 5 to 20 seconds for the subject to be rendered unconscious. Within 5 to 20 seconds, the subject can regain consciousness. And in that time, it is our job to monitor the subject's medical state. And if they don't go unconscious and they simply comply with the commands of the police officer, we will transition them to handcuffs. Police officers are taught at depot and reminded during training that once the handcuffs are on, the cop is off. If the carotid control technique was not available to me, I would only have, for grievous bodily harm or death, the ability to use my pistol. If it's imminent bodily harm, I have my CEW, but I wouldn't have any other physical option to be placed on the subject to prevent injury to them or injury to myself.
The sponge tip round that we have, that would generally be in relation to an individual who's causing imminent bodily harm. The closer we get to the individual, the higher risk it becomes for us, especially an individual armed with a knife. At the end of the day, we don't use the rounds intentionally to injure or harm people. We basically have the ability to affect a behavior change at a distance and elicit the different responses that we require in order to apprehend this person safely.
The primary tool for a riot team or tactical support group is tear gas. It is not used on peaceful protesters, certainly. It's not even used in unlawful assemblies. It's used during riots and riots only, or some other extremely exigent death or grievous bodily harm situation. So in a public order situation in a major riot, the tactical support group commander can make the decision to deploy tear gas, but an individual member of the team would not be able to have that authority. We've used tear gas successfully in a riot on a number of occasions, one being the Stanley Cup riot in 2011 in Vancouver. Tear gas was the most effective way for a small number of police personnel to move a significantly large number of people. We can deploy a level of force and discouragement to those who are committing criminal offenses at a distance while we're keeping our members safe, and to put our members in a situation where we now have to be physical and hands-on puts our members at significant risk, and I would not want to be without that tool in a major riot.
Less lethal devices are meant for police to be able to stop behaviors and to be able to prevent stuff from happening. If these tools are removed, then you're really starting to handcuff the police and their ability to do their job safely and effectively. If you leave a lethal option as the only option for a police officer, then you're going to end up with a lot more injured or killed Canadian citizens at the end of the day.